As promised, joining me now is House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. It is great to see you. We started off the show talking about the time Trump tried to bring cameras into the Oval Office and scold you and Leader Schumer about how shutdowns work, which didn't go so well. Let me start by asking you, you've spent your career fighting for people in this country, for people in your district. I just outlined there how Trump is basically busy lining his pockets and those of his billionaire friends, bailing out his buddy in Argentina, while millions of Americans are waiting to see if their health care costs are going to go up. And there are tens of thousands of furloughed workers. How does that split screen sit with you?
Well, it doesn't sit well. When we won in '06, our motto, one of our sayings was, drain the swamp. It's time to drain the swamp again. You know, he stole that saying from us when it really wasn't a swamp, but nonetheless, there we are. You wonder why the American people tolerate a grifter like this in the White House. A grifter family, you put money into their account, and then they say you can buy chips, high-powered chips from the United States. That's an emolument clause of the Constitution. But you know what? We don't agonize, we organize, and that's why we have to win this election. The best antidote to their poisonous policies and their poisonous action is to win the election, and that's what we intend to do. What they're doing in terms of the use of money, imagine they're sending money to Argentina, which is in competition with our farmers for soybeans into China. And yet, they're on the other end of it, putting money in their pockets by investing in Argentina at the expense of America's farmers.
It's not even clear he understands that from what he said today.
Well, I don't know what he understands, but what I do understand for us is that we must win and that we will win. As you are aware, we have a lot vested into the Affordable Care Act, as does President Obama, and he was our leader, our inspiration, just made it all happen, and we intend to protect it. What's interesting, I think it's interesting, that when we passed it, it wasn't so popular, you know? And we were like a little bit down, 6 points down in popularity when it became law. Now we're almost 30 points ahead, 29 points ahead. 30-something to 60-something in favor of the Affordable Care Act, for whatever they want to call it in their states. And we fully intend to save that for the American people, and in doing so, win the election to correct the corruption that goes on among the grifters in the White House.
Democrats are so unified on this, and also the public polling is very clear about where the country is, because as much as the Affordable Care Act wasn't popular back in the day, I remember that well, it has grown in popularity, and now the plan has always been to expand the coverage and expand access. I wanted to play something for you that Speaker Mike Johnson had to say today. Let's play that. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Point for the good of the country, do you need to change your strategy to try to negotiate a deal with Democrats?
It's a great question. Manu asks, why don't I change my strategy? I don't have any strategy, Manu. I'm doing the right thing, the clearly obvious thing, the traditional thing. That's exactly what Chuck Schumer voted for in March of this year and gave impassioned speeches was the right and only thing. I don't have anything to negotiate.
It's very clear what there is to negotiate. Yes. You've been in that position before. Yes. What do you make of someone as Speaker saying, I don't have a strategy?
Well, they do have a strategy, and that is to give tax breaks to the richest people in America at the expense of America's working families. This is sinful almost that they're taking about more than $500 billion out of Medicare. People don't talk about that. Raising the cost of the Affordable Care Act, depriving millions of people from Medicaid, children, seniors on long-term health care. So what? So that they can tax breaks to billionaires and at the same time send billions of dollars to Argentina at the expense of our farmers. So they have a strategy, and it's what it's always been. They only passed one bill. It's important to note that they only passed one bill when they had the majority before the first presidency. They give a tax break to the wealthiest people in America, adding $2 trillion to the national debt. They've doubled down on it now. They're giving a $4 trillion tax cut, adding $4 trillion to the national debt. I said President Trump is the worst president in American history for America's children. He's taking food out of their mouths with the SNAP program, health care away from them, education, children with special needs, just reducing the number of people who work there from over 100 to barely 20 for children with special needs. And he's, on top of it all, giving them $4 trillion in national debt to pay for, to give a tax break to the wealthiest people in our country. This is not a budget as a statement of values. What is important to our country should be how we allocate our resources. This isn't what this is. This is tax breaks for the rich who don't want to pay taxes and who don't want any clean air, clean water regulations or anything for the children.
It's been, to your point, it's been consistent with what their policies have been and how they have approached things to date. They've been trying to kill the Affordable Care Act for how long now? I wonder, I mean, I've been saying a lot on this show, it's terrible policy. It's bad for the country. It's bad for people. It's bad for kids. It's bad for families. It's also terrible politics because it's so unpopular what they are refusing to negotiate for. I know you're not in the weeds of these negotiations, but what do you think moves Trump in this regard? Is it the politics? Is it something else?
Follow the money. You know, that Deep Throat said that decades ago before you were born. Follow the money. That's what he's about. Now, the thing is that what they don't understand is when we, when we were in the Oval Office, you showed Chuck and the president, but I saw that happen right there. We were having
were right there,
yes,
major
fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I walked out with my red coat. But when that happened, the reason government was opened up is because the people spoke out. The people spoke out, and that had an impact on the senators, the Republican senators, and that's what will happen now. Power to the people. They understand what this means to them. Now, you know, you wonder, how do they tolerate this president, and some of them both women, that they'll do almost anything to have lower prices, community safety like that, and they think that's what he was bringing. Instead, he's increasing the cost of health care with his tariffs, increase the cost of many other things, and of course, militarizing but it isn't safe, but it is militarizing communities across our country. So let's be respectful of everyone and how they choose to vote. That's their decision. But the fact is, everything is at stake in our country at this time. That's why we have to win the vote in California when we have Proposition 50. I don't know if we're going to be talking about that. We're going to
get there. We have to take a very, very quick break. You've been so generous to stay around with me. I had so many questions to ask you about, but I really want to talk about the importance of that, all of your work behind the scenes. We'll do that when we come right back.
Okay.
North Carolina's Republican-controlled legislature just became the latest to announce plans to heed Trump's call to rig the 2026 midterm elections for Republicans by redrawing congressional maps. And that makes California's answer to the Trump power grab all the more important. If a majority of California voters vote yes on a ballot measure called Prop 50 in 3 weeks, they will give their legislators the green light to try to balance the playing field on redistricting. The stakes are so high that a certain former president is speaking out.
Yes, Shaban.
California, the whole nation is counting on you. Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. With Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks. Prop 50 puts our elections back on a level playing field, preserves independent redistricting over the long term, and lets the people decide. Return your ballot today. Vote yes on 50.
Another Democratic heavyweight who's a little bit smaller than Barack Obama is also very engaged in this fight. House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi has reportedly been deeply involved behind the scenes, no surprise. According to the New York Times, California Governor Gavin Newsom sought Pelosi's private counsel and support over the summer before plowing ahead with Prop 50. Pelosi was also a key sounding board for Eric Holder, the former attorney general, as he decided to abandon his commitment to nonpartisan map making in this case. She was also seen as a linchpin to help fund this campaign. campaign. Even tonight, right before this show, and she's been here with me for the last several minutes, she hosted a grassroots call on Prop 50, seemingly working around the clock on this very important effort. Back with me now is Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. You have been very busy. I just outlined some of the ways you've been involved. Clearly, this is personal to you. For people who are just paying attention, we've talked about it a bit on this show, but why is this so important?
Well, it's important because this is the path to winning the House for the Democrats. In 2006, when we won that. It was the first time the Democrats had won since 1992. But we got ready the year before. We were ready 1 year in advance to win the following year. Same thing in 18. In 2017, we were ready to win in 18. We won 40 seats. 31 of them in Trump districts. This time we've been preparing, and then the Republicans did what they did in Texas. I'm not a big fan of redistricting mid-decade or even beyond the commission, but we have made a pledge that the next redistricting will be with the commission with this, and we fully intend to win. I want to win big. And so I'm so excited about the president's ad that came out this week. It's really a cause for great excitement because nobody has a bigger positive image in California than Barack Obama.
Your eyes light up when you talk about winning big. I think that excites a lot of people watching. Just to put a fine point on it here, I mean, Speaker, Democratic leader Jeffries.
Yes.
Would he be able to become Speaker if this does not pass?
He will be Speaker.
Well, but if this doesn't pass, does this have to pass in order for him to become Speaker?
Well, he will be Speaker. We will win the election. This is a step in that direction. But we have many steps in that direction. This isn't arrogant. This is confident. Hakeem Jeffries, and he's leading the way on this for us, on what we're doing with health care and the rest in this debate on the shutting down what the Republicans have done in government. The Republicans shut down government. Trump took great pride in it when he did it, and you showed the film. I take pride in doing that. He was proud to do that. And every shutdown has been a Republican shutdown. So we fully intend to win. This is, I don't even entertain the idea that we would not win on November 4th. I want to win big.
There are 3 Democrat, there are as many as 9 Republican-led states that have either gerrymandered their maps. This is important for people to know. 9 Republican states are considering it in some capacity. 3 Democratic states have taken some type of action. Obviously, other states could follow California's lead. Redistricting is not something that you have supported mid 10-year plan here, but you also don't like to fight with one arm behind your back. You wouldn't have won so many times. Do you wish other states, do you want other blue states to really think about this at this point or think about a path forward, even if it's following the same model as California with letting people vote to do it?
Well, people have to do what their path is. It's really important to note, I thank you for your acknowledging what I have done, but this was a big plan. That is to say, in order for us to move forward, the California Democrats had to bless a plan that added 5 seats, which meant members had to give up some of their Democrats to do that. Zoe Lofgren, our chair of our caucus, and Pete Aguilar, who's the chair of the bigger caucus, they led the way on this. Zoe has just been remarkable. So our delegation had to vote for this. The state legislature, House and Senate, under the leadership of Speaker Rivas and pro tem leader of the Senate, McGuire, they then supported what we sent them. And then, of course, Gavin Newsom is carrying the ball down the field, and we're very proud of that. But everybody, since we're all into it, people have, you have to own the ground to win an election. So everybody has a vested interest in California in doing this. So we had a plan. If other states have a plan to do. But, we only need 3 seats to win, to make Hakeem the Speaker. Understand that. So it's not a big thing. Last election, when we won 40 seats. As I said, 31 in Trump districts. When we won in 2006, we hadn't won since 1992. But we decided we had to win. And we made a decision to win. And when you make a decision to win, you make every decision in favor of winning. With House Democrats, state legislature, Governor Newsom, and now our former president of the United States with his. The country is depending on California. It's about winning the House, but it's also about our democracy and that. But what people vote on, we save our democracy at the kitchen table. So it comes right back down to the cost of living, the cost of health care, the cost of everything that we do, whether it's for job creation and jobs and community safety and Affordable Care Act, as well as Medicaid, Medicare, all of that, helping seniors with a long-term health care. You save democracy at the kitchen table.
Big issue. People care about health care. I was a young spokesperson at the DCCC when you became Speaker of the House. There's nothing that feels better than winning big. So I hope people, as they're working hard out there, remember that. Speaker Emerita Pelosi, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me, talking about so many important issues.
My pleasure. Just win, baby. That's our motto.